Okay, boys and girls, today we're learning about estimating products, and this is one of my favorites because we are dealing with zeros, and as we know, when we're dealing with zeros, it makes our multiplication so much easier. So let's start out with 2 by 1 multiplication. Okay, when we round 27, what is that round to? Remember, we look at the first number, our greatest, the number that's in the greatest place. Okay, we're going to underline that, draw an arrow to the 7. The 7 tells the 2 to go to a 3. Everything else changes to a 0. We don't round this number down here. It's a single number. There'd be no need for that. Okay, now it's simple multiplication. We use our zero trick. The zero trick means we cover up the 0, multiply the 3 times the 4, we get the 12, and then just add on the number of zeros that we covered up. In this case, it was only 1. Another example, let's go ahead and go to a 3 by 1, since this is really a review from last year. So most of you will get through this, will remember this from last year, but you might not. So always good to review. We're going to do 479 times 6. Okay, if we always round to the greatest place unless it tells us otherwise. So we're going to underline the number that's in the greatest place, which would be the 4. Draw the arrow to the next place over. The 7 tells the 4 to go up to a 5, just like we did in the first one. 5 or above, remember, gives it a shove. Okay, then we round up. Never round down. If it's below 5, then we just keep it the same. Okay, so that's going to change to a 5. Every digit after that becomes a 0. Multiply by 6. Cover up your zeros. Use the zero trick. 5 times 6 is 30. And then add on your zeros. Even though you already have one here, you still need to add those 2 zeros on. And your answer is 3,000. Okay, we can also just change this color here. Let's do a, actually, I'm going to go ahead and erase this and make more room. Okay, and we'll do a 2 by 2, and then we'll do a 3 by 2. So for the 2 by 2, let's say we have 32 times 85. Okay, we're going to go ahead and round these numbers. Underline the number that's in the greatest place. Draw your arrow. Your 2 tells you 3 to stay the same. Everything else changes to a 0. Underline the digit in the greatest place. The 5, it's 5 or above. It gives it a shove. So that 8 gets a shove and it becomes a 9. Everything else changes to a 0. Now, zero trick, cover up your zeros. Multiply your 3 times your 9, 27, and how many zeros are we going to add on? 2. Okay, now let's try a 3 by 2, 674 times 89. Okay, we're going to round to the greatest place in each number. 6, your 7 tells your 6. Gives it a shove, so your 6 becomes a 7. Everything else becomes zeros. 89, number that's in the greatest place. 9 tells the 8. Gives it a shove, so your 8 becomes a 9. Okay, be careful here, because now we're getting into more zeros. Don't let them confuse you. Cover up your zeros. 9 times 7 is 63. How many zeros are we going to add on? 1, 2, 3. And there's your answer. And that's all we will do is the 2 by 1, 3 by 1, 2 by 2, and 3 by 2. Just remember, when you're multiplying by just one digit, you do not round that digit. Everything else gets rounded to the greatest place.